everybody, and welcome back to another episode of From BA to Broadway, your premier showbiz education podcast. You know who it is. It's me. It's Mr. Brennan Stefanik, your host, and I'm bringing you some general programming reminders. Folks, every Monday we are here with the main episodes, and every Friday we are here with our miniseries In the Spotlight. But that's enough about that. That's not why we're here today. Folks, today I am joined by a very special guest. It's been a long time coming, and I'm so happy to have her here. It is Miss Erica Walker. Erica, what is going
Honey,
on?
oh my God, I'm so excited to be here.
Welcome to the pod.
BA to Broadway.
Erica, who the heck are you, and what do you do?
God. Hi, my name's Erica Walker. I'm a performer in New York with quotes.
Yeah.
I perform in New York
New
sometimes.
York-based.
New York-based. I'm an actor. I'm a singer. I'm a strong mover with a double, if that concerns anyone. I can do my left split. And I also do some intimacy coordinating stuff.
Slay.
Low-key. I've just started that. And I'm just a generally awesome person to be around.
That's
who I am.
No, that's literally so true. If I were to describe you, that's exactly right. A hoot to have around, a pleasure to have in class. A hoot to have in class is what they should really start saying.
Yeah.
Erica, how do we know each other?
Oh my God. We just met actually. No.
Yeah,
Brennan and I met 3 years ago.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. We met doing a little show called Dog Fight.
Indeed.
Out in California. And that was an awesome... I actually don't want to talk about that. I do want to talk about it. I'm not going to lie and say it was an awesome experience.
I am so grateful for that experience because of the people and the times that I had. And the show itself was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
It was fun to do that show with my friends.
Exactly that. And I'm really glad I got to do that show because no one ever does it.
Literally.
But yeah, that's how we met. We did Dogfight, and that was
Indeed.
super fun. You played Bernstein.
Yes.
And I played Rose Finney.
You sure did.
Yeah, I did.
And Erica, did you go to school for theater?
I did. I went to Rider University.
I've heard of it.
Have you?
Yeah, I have indeed.
Oh my God, wait, Brandon.
I mean, a lot of people.
Wait, that's so true, but just our mutual.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, I went to Rider University. I got a BFA in musical theater.
You can use the F.
Can I use the F?
You can use a hard F.
I go to BFA in musical theater and a minor in psychology.
Oh my God,
I should have
amazing.
double majored, but I got lazy.
That's a lot.
I know.
And it's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
Is it expensive? Maybe that's dual degree. Maybe dual degree is expensive.
Maybe they are. I don't know.
I don't remember.
I had a pretty nice scholarship, TBSOH, so...
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Big brain.
When did it all start for you? When did the
Oh
theater
my
of it
God.
start? Also, where are you from?
Oh,
give
yeah.
everyone
Okay,
that
so
spiel, the lore.
Yeah, the lore. I have major lore. I grew up in a town of about 3,000 people in Bumfuck, Texas. Shout out. I'm from a small town called Tig. I grew up raising rabbits. And
That's crazy.
I know. I raised rabbits for 7 years. I lived down the street from my grandparents, all my best friends. Like I said, tiny town.
Yeah.
My dad was a coach and my mom worked in IT stuff. And so none of my family had any theater knowledge at all. But I'm really lucky because they're super supportive.
Of
so
course. Yeah.
I started I'm just a dramatic person. Period. You know me. You know that. I'm
What?
So I've just always been that way. And so as an outlet, my parents I would sing in church.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I started. And then I just kept doing it. I did all the plays in middle school and stuff. And my big thing was I always went to theater camp because there was never any summer theater near me. The closest city is Dallas and it's 2 hours away. So I couldn't drive 2 hours back and forth for a community theater production of Annie, you know?
For sure.
So I go to theater camp and that's kind of where I started actually learning what it was and that I could actually do this. And then I went to high school in my small town and I moved to Dallas, to the suburbs of Dallas, when I was a junior.
Heard.
And then I actually started taking voice lessons and stuff. And from there I went to Jersey and went to Rider and got my big fat ass degree.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
What is theater camp like? I that
God.
is something that I never got to experience, and I kind of regret it, but I also camp was just not in my vernacular.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like you would have. You would have had some like crazy like camp lore, because I feel like
my
you're the
God.
kind of person who would have gone like summer to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
I like was jumping around.
Oh,
like I
okay.
went to like this tiny theater camp like in Corpus Christi, Texas
Mm-hmm.
at their school one year, and then I went to Stage Door Manor one year, and like I feel like everyone who went there like went for like 5+ years.
Okay.
And I went like once, and I was like old to be going, so I was like, I can't do that again.
Gotcha.
And then I went to like another theater camp in Dallas. It was like, okay, it's like summer stock, but without the paycheck. That's what theater
that's
camp
rough.
is like.
That's rough.
It is just, it's like, and more drama filled, because it's like teenagers and tweens.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all like going through puberty and
Mm-hmm.
like being crazy.
What shows did you do?
Oh my God. Okay, I did this one crazy show called Ubu, which is like a French experimental play. I did that when I was like 15.
That sounds like the
It
perfect
was
piece for a theater camp
right?
in Texas.
Exactly. I was like, what are we doing? I didn't understand. No one understood it. I just like banged around a ladle and
Hell
like
yeah.
had crazy makeup. I did that. I did the complete works of William Shakespeare abridged, in which I played Hamlet. Fast, faster, normal, backwards.
Okay.
That was crazy. And then I did, this one was actually really cool, and I would do this again. We did an all-female production of Julius Caesar set in a
Oh.
women's prison.
Oh, whoa.
Right? That was really fierce. Happy Pride, I was Brutus. He was definitely gay.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Happy
she
Pride.
Gay. Yeah, Happy Pride.
Oh, this is like the first main episode that
Really?
we've done since Pride Month came
Be
out.
who
Since Pride Month
you
came
are.
out.
Oh my God. Pride Month,
Since they
congratulations
just
to you.
dropped Pride Month. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yay, Pride.
Yay, Pride.
Yeah, so I did that. I can't remember anything. Oh, my first show, like my first musical I ever did was at summer camp. And I was 12, and I did The Wizard of Oz,
Slay.
and I played a Winky.
A Winky.
Yeah, because
Whomst?
it's like the witches' soldiers.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the Winky guards.
Understood.
Yeah, because because I was 12 then, I'm 5'2". I've been 5'2" since I was 12. But when you're 12 and you're 5'2", you're tall.
Heard.
But when you're 25 and
That's
5'2", you're
crazy.
like- yeah.
Wow.
So
Good for
really
you.
crazy.
Okay,
Yeah.
Winky Winky. Love that.
Winky Winky.
Tinky Winky.
Tinky Winky.
In Wicked.
Yes.
So then, was there a lot of pressure to go to school? Was that something that you knew that you wanted to do? Did you feel as though, did you know you were going to school for theater?
Yeah, I knew, because I was just like, there's nothing else that I really can see myself doing and living like a happy life.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's dramatic.
But it's true.
But, you know, it's like, this is something that I've always felt like at home with and like very comfortable with. And I knew like, okay, like once I found out that it was something you could do, I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. I don't care if I have to go to like a tiny like junior college in Texas and I got lucky and ended up, I didn't get lucky. I worked hard and
That's
got
true.
lucky.
You did.
And I did that and I went to college for it. I feel like I was like, I had an audition coach, but I like signed up super late. So I just like didn't really know what I was getting into. I didn't dance like at all. I took like maybe a year of ballet when I was 4 years old.
Heard.
So I feel like going into college, I was just like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I wanted to go straight acting because I'd only had like a year and a half of voice lessons also. So I was like, I don't know. Like,
Gotcha.
I don't know anything golden age. I can't sing soprano.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and like turns out you don't actually need to sing soprano. Guess what? I'm an
Crazy.
alto and that's
There's so many.
okay.
There's so many voice
There's
parts.
so many things. Yeah. So I feel like I just knew I wanted to go. I didn't know what it entailed at all, really, other than like I would just get to perform, and that's what I wanted to do.
Heard.
Yeah, and I ended up at Rider, and I got to perform a little. I went to school during COVID, so COVID hit my sophomore year.
Oh,
I know. So I had half of my sophomore year was on Zoom, and then my whole junior year was on Zoom.
that's crazy.
It was wild. Like my whole living room in college, we like reformatted our house and like put all of our living room stuff in the kitchen so that our living room could be a dance studio.
Were you back in Texas or were you in New Jersey?
Both. So I was in Texas at the end of my sophomore year, and then
Gotcha.
all of my junior year I was in Jersey. And like all of my roommates that lived in my house, we
Heard.
were all MTs. So like we all just like used the space as like a dance studio, voice lessons in our room. When I was in Texas though, I would have to wake up at 6 a.m. for Zoom ballet.
That's terrible.
By the way, preface guys, I'm like, wait, actually I don't need to tell them my ethnicity. I was about to be like, I'm half Indian, so you guys know you have to be smart when you have
Oh
a
my
brown
God.
mom. But it's true. Like, I'm half Indian, and my dad's a teacher, so I had really high standards for academics, like,
Right.
my whole life. And I was always, like, on honor roll. The only class from kindergarten through getting my degree, the only class that I ever made below, like, a B+ on was Zoom ballet.
Oh
And
my
I got a
God.
C+ on Zoom ballet.
That's
Right?
unprecedented.
I know. I was like, what do you mean? I showed up.
Yeah.
That's really all you can ask out of Zoom ballet.
Unless
I was
they're
there.
providing you the materials to replicate a space in which it's
Exactly.
conducive to dance, then, like, that's not your
No.
fault. Well,
That teacher hated me.
You
Womp
held
womp.
yourself to some high standards, especially.
did.
That's crazy. Were you an academic, like in high school and stuff? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to say the word enjoyed, but you were good at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't use the word enjoyed
Heard.
either, but I was good at it. I was a
Gotcha.
good studier, and I had a good memory.
Okay.
I don't remember
Listen,
anything
I'm
anymore.
right there with you.
I don't know what I ate for breakfast. That's a lie. I made biscuits.
I had to think about it for a second. So you was Broadway the dream? Was that kind of what the epitome of what the career could be in your head?
Yeah, I think so. I think, like, I went from being like, I want to be a country music star when I was like 10.
Iconic.
Right? And now
Yeah.
I'm kind of back. I did like a full circle. I went like, I want to be a country music star to like, I want to be on Broadway to now I'm like, I want a job.
I want to be a country music star
I'm
on Broadway.
Give me it.
Dolly, where you at, girl?
Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, what was my career ambitions as a kid? Because I was never
Yeah.
like, my dad was a firefighter, and that kind of was not as glorified as it typically is for kids. Because
Yeah.
I was like, my mom and I were like driving to the big giant mill fires and being like, we're going to just make sure everything's okay.
Damn. I didn't
so-
realize that.
I know it. I mean, I also come from a place where like there was a lot of like industry back in the day, but then nothing ever happened with these buildings. So there's just all of these old buildings that are essentially powder kegs. Like
Yeah.
they've just not been maintained. They're filled with asbestos, and so
Ooh.
the second one of them catches fire, it is burning
dead.
for days, and you can see it for
crazy.
miles. So like, yeah, that kind of life got demystified for me a lot right away. And so I think the only thing I ever consciously went, I want to do that, was I wanted to be a professional wrestler. I wanted, yes, I was a big WWE kid.
Really?
Yes, and I wanted to be a professional wrestler. And at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I mean, in a way, I kind of am in that same world still, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're so right though, because like there's pageantry to it.
That's-
There's
yeah.
blocking. There's music.
I loved the costume. I loved drawing
Yes.
out what my costume would be.
Did you have like a name
Of
for
course.
what was it?
I was BJ the Bulldog.
PJ the that.
Oh.
What is his story?
Oh, I don't know. He was gruff looking though. Like he was wearing a bandana. He had like black ripped jeans and like a leather
You were wrestling in
vest.
ripped jeans and a leather
Oh,
vest.
he was like a big, strong biker guy.
Oh, period.
Yeah, that was the goal, you know. And here we are.
Guy's new Halloween costume just dropped.
BJ
BJ
the
the Bulldog.
I'll post the
Oh my
inspo
God.
pics.
Please
Oh
go
my God,
find the
that's
sketches.
so funny.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so that was always the dream, and then I don't know what. It's so weird because like there was just a period of time where there wasn't a dream, you know,
Yeah.
where I was just kind of like going through high school, middle school, and high school, you know, because that wrestler dream was really just for like elementary school,
Yeah.
where I was just kind of like doing things, and like the only things that I like had an interest in were band, but that was like a lot of pressure that put on by the
Yeah.
school system itself. And there wasn't really ever a dream until I started doing theater. And then I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
I could do this. So it is, I had never really thought about that or verbalized that in like this time, but like, yeah, I guess there wasn't a dream for a huge chunk of it.
And then you found, well, because you started doing theater like later in high school or in
Yeah,
college?
junior year of high school.
Yeah.
So
That's wild.
it is wild.
But that's so nice that like you had years of like finding out like what you actually wanted to do.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of an epidemic of like theater people
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, is that like we get so caught up in like the industry that we like forget that we're people first.
Oh, totally.
And like people don't have hobbies and they only like
Yeah.
can talk about theater, which is great. And like I want to talk about theater, but like
Totally.
I want to talk about drag and what you're watching on TV and what
Yeah.
music you're listening to outside of like the cast albums.
Truly.
You know?
No, I mean that's so true. And like I say all the time, like it's really tough sitting in holding rooms when every conversation is just like, I just did this contract. Oh, I just sang at 54 Below with this famous person, and it's like, girlies, It's okay. We've all been there, done that, and we just need to be people. We need to be humans.
Yeah, be humans. Be humans.
So yeah, I think I did learn a lot about that just out of circumstance, because it was like going to school and doing band and like struggling to get homework done, and in my free time I was just like nerding out. Like that was my hobbies, was just being a nerd by my lonesome, you know. Yeah, and I mean, I guess I learned a lot about myself in that way, is that like I didn't consciously know at the time, but like reflecting on it, I'm like, oh, like I can kind of track my trajectory of like how I was a human and how I was not a human in those times.
Ooh.
So literally, I mean, there was also just so much of like trying to fit in and prove myself, and like I was just trying to insert myself with all of the wrong people. So it was just so much trying to be what I perceived others wanting me to be, rather than just like enjoying what I enjoyed and like finding other people who enjoyed those things.
I totally get that, because from like my hometown, like everyone, lovely people, like I'm so glad I grew up in such a small town, but because like the arts weren't like super present, like I was in Drumline Divas, I was also in band, and I was in theater, and so I remember like not really like trying when I was with my friends outside of theater. Like I tried to play sports because my dad was a coach, and I was just never, well, first of all I was bad at it, but also I was never really passionate about it. So I used to like put so much effort into these things that like didn't come naturally to me, and like I didn't feel a passion to like grow on just because I was like, oh, that's what everyone else is doing. Like my sister was super athletic, like she's not super athletic either, but she would agree with me. Emily, if you're listening to this, you're awesome. Oh my god. And you are.
She's like, what the fuck?
She was like, we're both just like super slow.
Oh my god.
Like unfortunately, like our poor dad, like he was an athlete in like high school and stuff, and he didn't get athletic kids. But my sister like loved sports, so, and I would like try, but like I was just like, this just isn't like my team, you know. I was like doing cartwheels in the outfield and like picking flowers, you know.
I definitely, God bless my dad. You know, I will say like he did try and raise me to be a sports person. Like I was playing baseball, I was playing hockey, I was playing soccer, and like doing all of the things, but like the only one that ever stuck was soccer. That's the one that I played the longest. And I wasn't ever really that great, but like even with the other stuff, like it was more me just going to try and fit the mold of what a young boy should be doing and whatnot. But like even when I started to like veer away from the sports and started doing like, I kind of just devoted my life to band and all of the various bands and stuff that my school offered. My dad was like really on board, and he like was driving the truck, and he was like, he became the president of the band, the parent band association or whatever, my senior year or whatnot. Like he was always like super involved in that. So like, I think at the end of the day, I look back and it was really just him wanting to support me as much as he could in whatever ways, you know? So, I mean, I was not meant to be a sports person. I understand that.
Same.
I'm good at like the like niche things that aren't like really sports. Like I'm a very good bowler, and I'm very good at like ping pong. Like those two things, I'm like, I'm solid.
That's great skills to have.
Yeah. You know how often I'm using
funny.
those?
Yes.
The Broadway Bowling League, that's it.
Or do you really play in that?
I went once last year. I went at the very first game of the season last year, and then Gilded Age picked up, so then I could not attend any others.
Womp womp.
Yeah, but I will, I mean, if I'm in the city and able to this year, I will rejoin again.
Bowler. Do you remember when we went bowling in that casino? And it reeked of cigarettes.
I was just talking about that casino the other day because I don't remember who I was with, but I was like, yeah, I enjoy gambling. I am definitely a gambler.
You with that picture of you with your like $5 ticket?
Yep. Yep. And they were like, do you go to casinos? And I was like, well, there was a couple back home that like I would go to with my parents or whatever. But like there was just the one in California where I would fully go by myself. I'd be like, Brandon, I need the car. And then I would fully go by myself and sit at that one slot machine that I loved.
I didn't realize you would go like on your own time solo.
And not a like ton, but at least twice I went on my own.
Twice, okay.
Yeah.
Valid.
I love it. I do.
Period.
It's a bad habit.
I'm about to go to Vegas. I've never like gambled outside of that, and
Yep.
I'm really excited to.
I'm so excited.
I just
for
have
you.
faith in myself.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm gonna play like some really good blackjack.
You should go. Are you going to see Drag Race live? You
I
should.
think they close before I'm
Oh,
there.
like close?
I think. Well, at least they don't have like a ticket block out for that.
Gotcha.
But if not, I will be dragging my whole family to Drag Live.
Heard. Are you caught up? Did you watch the most recent episode of All Stars?
I did.
I think it's so funny when they do like the musical challenges on Drag Race, because that there's always a judge who is like, you could be on Broadway with that. They're like, you could go right to Broadway,
and they're
I'm
right.
like,
you could play Roxy Hart.
I'm like,
in
what?
Chicago.
I'm like, we're just lip syncing up there, and you were just the best of the 6 people that were there. We're saying Broadway. Hello. Some of them, for sure. Some of them are definitely theater queens, but also I'm like,
I want to see Susie Toot in the off-Broadway production of Little Shop of Horrors.
I would love to see Susie Toot. Really, I would love to see Susie Toot do anything on Broadway.
Period.
I'm so happy that we have Marsha doing Cabaret.
Oh my God, yeah.
I saw Marty do MC when I saw Cabaret. He was so good.
I believe that.
So good. I was like, excuse me. I saw it on my birthday and got rush tickets so easily, and I was like, oh, someone must be out. And a lot of people, we saw a bunch of understudies, but I was wicked happy to see that happen and like him be like really good, you know? So I was like, okay, that's good.
I love seeing an understudy on Broadway
Oh,
also.
yeah.
Well, anywhere, but also like especially on Broadway, because I feel like there's such like a sense of camaraderie like within the cast, especially if it's like someone from the ensemble that like then you have a swing in, and then you have like this is like they're people that they do the show with every night. It's like so exciting.
Yeah. I mean, we just saw an understudy the other night. We just saw Death Becomes Her, and Christopher Sieber was out. There are some circumstances where I'm like, okay, if I'm going to see a certain show for a certain person, then I'm gonna probably try and get a refund. Like, if Megan or Jennifer were not there the other night, probably would have waited to try and see it. But there's a lot of times where I go and I'm just like, it's a surprise. So I'm like, okay, great.
Totally.
Like, I also saw an understudy in Operation Mincemeat a couple weeks ago, and it's a 5-person cast, so like they are always like really tight knit, and they're British, and this one understudy was American, so she held her own. It was really impressive, and like you could just tell that they were all like rooting and supporting for her in every way, and just like, you know, I mean, when it's a 5-person cast, like it can get very like close knit, like understandably and circumstantially, but like in that moment I was like, oh, they are like fully like picking this girl up and making sure that she is on equal footing with them in every regard, and it is really nice. Especially just because like it is so necessary these days. Did you have like swing classes or understudy classes at all in college?
I had like a swing understudy unit. I'm like, did we do a whole class? So I'm actually like super grateful for this, because I swung like one like student run show in college, and I feel like if I like got a call to swing, like I would do it because my brain just works well that way. And we did. So one of my professors was like a swing in, I think it was like OBC Beauty and the Beast. He did this whole unit where he like taught us every track of Be Our Guest.
That's
crazy.
And
then like taught us how to make a swing book. And like there's this really helpful book. I think it's called like How to Be the Best Swing, or like, wait, I'm going to Google it because actually it would be so helpful.
That sounds really interesting.
It was. And so we had to like learn all the tracks and track them down. And he did a really good job at like just kind of giving us the lay of like, this is where you stand when you're a swing. This is like when you can record, like when, and I'm sure things are different now. Okay. The book is called Be the Best Swing on Broadway, and it's just super, super helpful. It gives you like lots of little tips and tricks. I think there's a lot of things you learn like actually doing it. But I think I would have been like super clueless if it weren't for that class. I also feel like there's a lot of people that like I know that I went to school with that are like swings now. Like my friend Ricky is a swing on the Hadestown tour.
Oh, okay, great.
And he covered Orpheus for like 2 months, by the way, like last minute, and he's brilliant and amazing and just graduated last year.
Oh my God.
I know, crazy. But like a lot of people I know who went to my school swung because they like taught that. Which is like, especially nowadays, such a good tool to have.
Totally.
Like Yeah.
I don't think, I mean, we weren't doing like a lot of musical theater in our department or anything, but I did all of my shows in college with extracurricular groups, but like we didn't have understudies or swings.
Yeah.
We didn't know what those were. And like even in the department, like they weren't casting understudies because it would ever only be like a 2-weekend run or anything. But like there was the famous moment in my senior year where during our production of The Addams Family, I got the neurovirus and was out for half of the run. And so I think after that, they started casting understudies and stuff because we very quickly learned. We were so lucky that we were doing Addams Family because the ensemble is just always at the back of the stage. So someone was able to step in because they just have been watching me the entire couple months of rehearsal. But yeah, it is something that wasn't really emphasized, and like a potential like career, like I don't want to say career path because like
but career skill.
Yeah. You know, so I definitely, it's nice to see that happening more in institutions, and I think we are starting to see that change, which is really good. But it is truly so necessary. I mean, after COVID was the kicker. COVID was really the kicker, where it was like people are sick and that is natural and we need to figure something out with that.
Yeah. Also, it's like if you want like performers to have like longevity, you need to give them the opportunity to like not be scared to call out.
Totally.
You know, it's like you need to be able to listen to your body and not get punished for that.
Yes.
You know, and it's also like a great opportunity for other people to like learn these tracks and be prepared, and it's like you get to see other people do like other roles and stuff.
Yeah.
I think, oh my God, I think my college always had like understudies and stuff, but I remember I was doing a production of Pippin.
Oh my God.
In college, and I caught COVID. This is my senior year, by the way.
Yeah.
And it was our first semester fully, like the school was fully back in person.
Rough.
And I had just gotten back from a wedding, and I was the first person at my school that year to get COVID.
No.
And I got COVID the first week of senior year.
Terrifying.
And so I had to miss like the whole like first week of rehearsal.
Yeah.
And then they like pushed the first party of the year back a week because I gave it to someone. Well, also, period. That was super nice. But like everything got pushed back. And it's kind of crazy, like, because that was our first time like doing a show post-COVID, how much you kind of realize like, oh my God, it's really important to like, well, one, to take care of yourself. Who takes care of themselves in college? Not me.
Yeah, no.
But like to take care of yourself, and also to like really understand like, might as well learn this track and like really put your back into it, because you never know, you could go on. And also, if not, it's a good thing to exercise that muscle anyway.
Totally. I mean, also it's just like in the professional world too, it's like you are getting paid a significant amount of money, even if you're a cover and you're not on stage for most of the week. It's like you are getting paid so much money, so like you should probably learn your stuff. You should probably put in the work to learn your stuff.
I would recommend learning your job.
Once you got it in there, it's in there.
Yeah. I would love to like, I've been thinking a lot about like what my next like steps will be. I would love to be like understudying swinging. Like, you know what? We're manifesting.
Yeah.
I would love to like swing waitress.
Oh yeah.
I would love, and I feel like I already know that score really well. And I would love to like worker understudy in Hadestown too.
Gotcha.
I think those are, because I was telling you earlier, like my brain just like works that way to where I can like, I don't know, when I was younger and first started getting into theater, I would like watch shows over and over again, like the same one. Like I would watch the Spring Awakening bootleg like on repeat, and like I could probably to this day do like every single track from the OBC. So I'm like, if you can give me 2 weeks and like just repetition, I can do it. You know?
For sure. In that vein, I mean, we said that Broadway was the dream originally. Has the dream shifted at all for you? Is Broadway still like the biggest goal, would you say?
I feel like right now, I think my biggest goal is just to find balance. I feel like in a like career-wise, my biggest goal is just to be booked. Yeah. Broadway or not. I don't think Broadway is like the end goal. I think it would be awesome to be on Broadway, but I also feel like for a long time I was like pigeonholing myself and telling myself like it is Broadway or like nothing. Yeah. And I'm like, there's so many other things you can do. Like for me, I'm like, I'm at a point where I'm like, as long as I'm able to perform, like that's what makes me happy. Yeah. And if I am getting like $200 a week, I mean, obviously that's not feasible to like live, but like if I'm doing that, $200 a week or like 2,000, like if I'm still able to like have a balance in my life and like get to perform at this point in my life, that's for sure. You know, I would love to do Broadway. I would love to do like singing gigs. I would love to be a backup vocalist on like someone's album. I would love to have my own album, you
Hell
know?
yeah.
Right now, I'm like, the goal is just to not stop creating.
Yes.
I just did The Artist Way.
You just did what?
The Artist Way.
What is that?
Oh, it's great. So it's this book written by Julia Cameron.
Okay.
And it's basically a 12-week kind of program.
Okay.
And it's all about like reigniting your creativity and like redirecting your path. It's really great. And I mean, so many people have done it. She wrote it like many years ago. So it's been out for a while. But it's like a really great tool to like kind of re-get yourself on track or like kind of re-inspire you to keep creating. And what I took away from that is like quantity over quality when you're creating.
Gotcha.
Just like create because you've got to have the bad stuff to get anything like worth sharing.
Interesting.
I guess.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, don't be afraid to like create something bad because you might find something really great out of that.
For
or
sure.
You might just like meet some really awesome people doing like a shitty musical you wrote with your friends.
Yeah.
Or like it might actually be a really great musical and you wouldn't have done it because you were scared to do it, you know?
Yeah.
So right now I'm feeling like just like making things and being excited for like any opportunity.
For sure.
Is like, that's good with me.
Heard.
Yeah.
I love that. I definitely, I feels like, I know it's not just me, but like, especially the beginning of this year, I realize we're already like halfway through the year. I realized that today, which is freaking crazy. But like the whole first half of the year, it has been just like so dry and gray and stuff, like, cause like it's been really hard to get seen for auditions and stuff, but also just creatively, it's been really hard to kind of remember why I love to do this and remember what I love to do, you know, because I don't know, but like the other day I was doing a tape for a production of Ren, so I was putting all the mark materials on Ren, which I've done so many, like I've recorded those things so many times at this point, and I was doing it and I was just recording over and over and over and over, and I try and stick to like a 3 tape limit, you know, like 3 takes and that's it, and pick from one. But like I kept on going with this and I was like, I gotta stop. Like, and then I was like, wait, I'm not doing this because I'm looking for perfection. Like I wasn't going like, oh, I hate this. Like I need to do this better. I was like, I'm having fun. Aww. Like I'm having fun doing this material that I really love. And I was just like finding new things within it that I enjoy and like new choices and whatnot. And like, I was just continuing to like plow the stuff into the ground because I was like, I guess I really haven't gotten to do this in a while, you know, like I haven't taken a class in like quite a while. I mean, because it's expensive. It's tough to do that. But like, even just like doing those, just that stuff, I was like, oh no, I love this. I love this. I enjoy this. And I would love to have the opportunity to do this somewhere. But like, first I got to do it here, you know? So it is important to kind of rebalance yourself in those ways. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you feel that because I feel like for a while I was feeling like self-tapes were like kind of stealing my like artistic joy because I wasn't having that. Instead of like feeling like, oh my gosh, how lucky am I that I get to like work on this, I get stuck in that like perfectionist narrative, which is just like it's not healthy
for sure.
And it's also exactly what you said. It's like you're losing why you want to do it. So I think like, I don't know, I think it's so important to like be able to find joy. And I think sometimes that means like, for me, it means like taking a step back.
Totally.
Like I was getting so frustrated like with like self-taping and like finding material and stuff that I wasn't even like looking for things to be like fulfilling for me. I was looking at, okay, what do other people want me to sing?
Totally.
Or like, how do other people want me to present to them?
Yeah.
And in doing that, you lose like the spark,
totally.
You know? And that's just not fair to ourselves. And I feel like I've talked to a lot of other like performers who feel like once you start like looking at your art form in a way of like, how is it going to be perceived? Then we kind of lose like the magic to it.
Totally.
Whereas when we go in and are like, okay, I'm lucky to get to do this. I'm working on a piece that is exciting and I'm going to like just put myself into it and like let everything else fall away. First of all, you're going to start booking more when you do that.
100%.
Because people don't want to see what you think they want. They just want to see you. And if they don't like that version of you, that's okay. That just means it's not for you. But I think like once I started like, and this was just recently for me, like once you start like getting excited again and like kind of letting that go, it's better quality and you just start enjoying it more.
You have to nurture yourself because if you can't nurture yourself, you're not going to nurture the creativity. And like a lot of those times that I have found myself like taping and just it getting worse and worse and worse, I'm like, oh, this sucks. Why is this happening? And I'm like, oh, it's because I worked 12 hours today and then didn't get a proper warm-up in, so my voice is shot. I am just running myself into the ground. This is not conducive to me doing my best and actually enjoying what I'm doing. Like, you have to take care of yourself and know what is worth it and what is not worth it, because if you're gonna just blow out your voice just to get a tape in, that's not gonna be what's gonna get you booked. It's not. So like, what is the point? Why are you doing it? So I think I also just like started redoing all of my book materials, like redoing all of that just to get a fresh set of tapes on that. And I'm like, that's another thing where like I've found myself doing more and more takes, because I'm like, oh, I love these songs, like, I'm finally at a place where like my book is like filled with songs that I can sing consistently, even on the days that I don't have the best warm up or whatnot, like it is things that I know I can do and cuts that I know I can do. And like, when I'm able to just do that on tape and whatnot, it's just that same sensation of, oh, I enjoy this. I feel myself in this. And like, I like putting my perspective on this. So this is why I need to do it in the ways that I need to do it in. It's tough. That's showbiz, kid, as I say. It really is. But I am very grateful that I've kind of had this reignition right now, especially because everyone just left for all of their summer stock gigs, which is like, it's like great, honestly, like more time, like more audition slots for us now, and like to get seen and whatnot. But also it's just like the summer envy always comes, where it's like you're watching everyone live their best summer stock dreams, and it's like, damn, I wish I could just be having fun in some beachside town doing theater right now, but here I am working my survival jobs. It's rough.
I just got back from said Surfside theater gig, and it was great, and coming back to the city was like a shock to my system.
Totally.
And again, very, very grateful to be able to like come back here and like this be my home. But it is hard to be like, oh, I just like live. What I've been realizing lately is that theater, or like our profession, is like 90% auditions and 10% actually getting to do what you want to do. And I was just like, dang, getting to live that 10% and then going back to the grind is hard. And I know it will be worth it, like come next time there's a gig. But it's hard.
It is.
And I'm already feeling, I was just there and I'm already feeling envious of the people who are like doing it again, or like going to their gigs. Yeah. But also I'm trying to stay in the mind frame of like, what's for you won't pass you.
Oh,
so I'm
100%.
Like, I'm not feeling like that should be my job. I'm more feeling like, oh, that's not for me.
That's not for me.
I get to be in New York for the summer. That's freaking awesome. I would have told like 10-year-old Erica, like, guess what? You're 25 and you're hanging out in New York for your birthday, like for the summer. You're going to have all these cool experiences. Like, she'd be so excited.
Totally.
She wouldn't care that I'm not in Delaware right now.
Exactly.
But shout out Delaware. Delaware's awesome.
I'm so happy that you had a good time there.
Yes.
I mean, you know me. Like, my favorite things are just like hanging out with my friends and like being in spaces with my friends. So I'm like, those are always the most carefree times, because not only am I getting to hang out and work with my friends, but I'm also doing theater. Like, that is the perfect amalgamation for me at all times.
Same.
So that's always tough on missing out on that. But then also I'm like, okay, I can do that here in different ways. Like, I can put myself in the spaces to do that and like create the opportunities to do that. And like, I'm kind of at this place right now where like, I do have all of these dreams, and yes, I want to be on Broadway. Yes, I would like to do a TV show. Yes, I would like to do some voice work. But I think ultimately I'm like, I just want to have fun and make art with my friends. And if I can find a way to make money doing that, I know I will feel so content with my life, know? So like, that's kind of the path that I am falling on right now. And like, most of the media that I consume nowadays is like silly, like improv, like TV shows or whatnot.
Have you ever done improv?
No, I just started looking into UCB classes. Yeah. I'm curious if I want to give that a go. It's just, it's one of those fears that I'm like, it's the fear of, I think this general fear of my life right now is like, not so much what if I'm bad, but what if I'm good? Yeah. Like, it's not the fear of what if I'm not successful, but what if I am successful? Yeah. And then it's all of a sudden a big change,
I totally feel that. And the thing with, my anxiety works in the same way, or where I'm like, when there's one uncertainty that like leads to many others. But the thing is that okay, what if you're good or bad? You'll never know if you don't do it.
For sure.
If you don't do it, you're just going to be sitting in the what if.
Yep.
Which is more anxiety overall.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's been like a huge theme in my life lately, where like even just like procrastination, it's like it's not a matter of, oh, I don't want to do it because I'm scared of like being bad or failing or whatever, or like what I'm scared of the complications that could come out of it. It's like, no, I'm scared of what the change all of a sudden looks like if I'm actually good at this thing and it gets me somewhere, or it does something for me in a good way, which is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
It's absolutely bonkers.
It is crazy. It's so crazy because like we see like something good coming our way and we're immediately like, no,
we're like,
scary.
There's got to be some catch.
Yeah,
here.
what's the catch?
There's got to be. It must
like,
be too good to be true.
I'm being punked.
Literally,
you know, it's like good things can't happen, but that's a lie.
Truly,
it's a lie that we're telling ourselves.
It is a lie.
We deserve good things to happen to us.
Literally,
and it's like scary.
There was also a specific instance a couple of months ago where like, you know, we're all on all of the dating apps and doing all this stuff, and like, I was talking to someone and I was like, I think I'm getting the ick because they like me. You know,
dude.
I'm like something must be wrong with them because they enjoy me.
I'm like, ugh. I used to say that all the time. I would be like, I can't, like, as soon as someone likes me back, like, I'm like done. I'm like over it. And my friends were like, that's crazy.
No, literally.
That's actually insane.
Danny was like, what is wrong? Like, he was like, what? No, that's not how that works. Like, this person thinks you're cool and wants to spend time with you. And I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with
bad
them?
Bad taste. You have bad taste. You think I'm well, and which is insane because I know we're both like, wait, no, actually, I think I'm cool.
Literally.
Like, I'm cool. I'm great. Like, I'm fun to be around.
Yeah.
I'm not bad to look at.
No.
Like, you know, but
here we are.
As soon as someone else has that same thought process, I'm like, ugh. Which is low-key how I feel about auditions and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I know I'm good, but then I get a call back and I'm like, I should have gone that.
Yeah, I'm like,
what?
Wait, this theater must not be reputable if they're calling me back, you know? I'm like, oh, this must be some shady contract that they're going to take advantage of me.
Literally, my last job, I booked it and I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, what? I don't think I should have booked that. Like, is this gonna? And then it ended up being a great show and great people.
I mean,
you know,
the reason we met because of Dogfight, that was my very first regional contract, and that was truly one of the biggest sources of imposter syndrome that I've ever felt. Because I only auditioned for Dogfight because they were also doing Little Mermaid, and when they were asking for submissions, they were like, we're looking for an Eric and we're looking for this role in this other show. And I was like, I might as well do it. I've never heard of Dogfight. I don't know the show. I don't know any of the material. I just did the side as I saw fit. I didn't look it up or anything. And I did the song. What
did they have you do for that audition?
It was some kind of time. It was just the chorus of some kind of time that we had to put on tape. And then the sides were the tattoo scene of Bernstein and Boland in the tattoo parlor. And that was what I put on tape, and I sent it out. And naturally, I forgot about it. I was like, because this wasn't, I didn't have any investment in the show. And of course, that was the first thing that I got the call for. And they were like, hey, are you still available and interested? And I was like, yeah. It was like 2 months later, so whatever. And it's like, it was one of those things where then I like listened to the soundtrack and I was like, oh, this is hard.
Yeah.
Like I'm not that good of a singer. This isn't the kind of voice
not
I
true.
have. I'm also like not a big manly man, you know, to play a freaking Marine. Yeah. So it was entering that and I'm like, oh, wait, no, I am talented. And they saw something in me, which is why they chose me out of a lot. I'm assuming a lot of people that submitted, you know,
definitely.
So especially for that show. So I'm like, okay, you know, it's the inner saboteur, you know. It always gets you, and it's interesting. I am like curious now. It's very interesting how it evolves over time, because like when I was young, it very much used to be the fear of doing bad or feeling embarrassed, and now it is kind of flipped to the opposite way. I'm like, don't get me wrong, I still am scared of but like I'm in a place now where like my brand is silliness and goofiness, so like I'm less scared of embarrassment, but like it's that weird flip on being scared of success, that it's like, it's trying to be tricky here. It's like, okay, you kind of conquered the fear, so I'm going to give you something else to be scared of.
I'm going to make you scared of something you didn't even know you could be scared of.
Literally.
Like, wait, can I tell a funny dog fight story?
Yeah.
Okay. If you might, I don't know if anyone's told this before. I don't know that they have. So when we did Dogfight together, we had a really fun and silly cast, and we were like always like doing little pranks or like making little giggles with each other. And was it Brandon or Luke or Zach?
Who did what?
Well,
Who started that?
the tats.
Yeah, it was Luke.
It was Luke.
It was
Okay.
Luke and I were being goofy. We told this story during bonus
Oh, you did?
content.
Damn it.
No, during
Oh,
bonus
wait.
content, so it's only on the Patreon. So
Okay,
go ahead and tell it.
Perfect. Okay, so we used to always do like silly like little tricks and gigs and pranks. And our closing weekend, I think it was, for those of you who don't know, there's a scene in Dogfight where the boys are getting bee tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
And someone thought it would be hilarious for us to get custom made tattoos with Brennan's sweet, lovely mother Karen's face on them.
Yep.
And so throughout the show, everyone would just like subtly show Brennan a tattoo of his mom. We'd just be like, hey, nice. I think I put mine.
It was bonkers.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. That was, I will say, like, Luke and I had been going back and forth with, like, pranks and, like, jokes the whole time. Because, like, we were doing this
Yeah.
gruff, manly show. So, like, we were truly reverting to a high school
Yeah.
stupid boy frame of humor where it was just like, your mom.
Yeah.
And he really, he got it at the end where it was the last week of shows and he made these custom tattoos of my mother. And he was the first one because there was a scene where I reach out to shake his hand and he just had his forearm up perfectly so that only I could see this. And it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I was so proud of him because I was like, this is awesome. But I
Yeah.
was so pissed because I was like, I cannot one up this. I cannot top this in the limited amount of time that we had. It would have to involve some form of really grand
Yeah.
scheme that I really just can't do right now.
Yeah.
So, and then
Epic.
all of a sudden, the tattoo started popping up in other places for the whole rest of the week. Other people, other areas. It
Awesome.
was crazy, and it was so funny.
It was so funny. I don't remember if it was the same, if it was your mom's tattoo or someone like put someone's headshot, like where the beer
was-
bottle was. Do you remember that? Because
I-
I forgot
that was me.
what did you do?
I printed out a bunch of wallet-sized photos of Zach's headshot. And I just started putting them in random places where he would find it because Zach had the most to do during that
Yeah.
show. He was on stage the most and he always had to be in the foulest mood out of everyone. So getting him to break was tough, but it was always a goal because of that. And I had to put this headshot, I had put it in several places where he could easily get rid of it. But this one time, it's the scene where we're at the bar and I taped it. I taped it down to
the table.
the bar table.
Yeah.
So that when he would move his drink, it would be there and then he wouldn't be able to take it off.
And he
And
couldn't.
he was so pissed, but it was
God.
so good.
It
Yeah.
was awesome.
That, I think we had so much fun during that show because we were in this area where our show was not popular.
No.
We were doing Dogfight for a bunch of elderly white people who lived through the
Yeah.
Vietnam times, and we were
Exactly.
doing this show.
And they hated the cursing, by the way.
Oh, we-
didn't hate the blatant misogyny.
no.
They didn't give two fucks about that. But they
No.
were like, you can't be like fucking and this and that.
All of
like,
this foul language.
Yeah.
How dare they?
Gag.
So like the stakes were so low for us because
Yeah.
we were like, we're gonna dick around on stage because it's not gonna take away from their
No.
experience. They're already miserable. Literally. Oh,
Precisely.
what a great time.
Dude, have you told the story about the death?
I think we did that one
Okay.
on Patreon as well. That one, I think we'll keep
You
on the
should.
Patreon.
You should. That's a special one.
I think we're gonna keep that on the Patreon. There was our show might have been
was
so
cursed.
moving that someone decided it was the last thing they ever wanted to see.
Yeah, the last thing that he ever wanted to hear was me singing Pretty Funny.
Yes, not in a suicidal way. I will
No.
specify that. But y'all, if you want to hear that story, you gotta go check it out on the Patreon. Okay,
Get on the Patreon,
That
divas.
is that's patreon.com/beatabroad.
It's awesome.
No, literally, there's I just to plug. I will say there's a lot of fun stories on there like that. You know, like yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where like I hate monotony like so much,
Yeah.
and like so that is always a great fear of mine with like Broadway, where I'm like, I don't know if I could do the same show over and over and over, but it's like things like that where I'm like, No, we keep it fresh. Like we know how to keep it like new and fun all the time.
Do you remember when I would always put something in my purse?
Oh yeah.
And I put Cameron's ID in there because he would like go through the purse and he was like, what the fuck? Like, how did we even get this on there? That was everything.
Oh, we were monsters. We were
know.
such trolls.
And first date last night, I would always like have like something to give to Brandon.
Yeah.
And then I would end up making, like, one time I had a whoopee cushion.
Yeah.
And I like went back and like whoopee cushioned in his face and he was just shocked and I like broke myself.
Listen,
and I was like, bum, bum, bum.
The Dollar Tree of Sonora, California hated to see
They
us
hated
coming.
to see us coming.
They hated to see us
A
coming.
whoopee cushion hates to see me coming.
We literally, we were there like every day. We went to the Dollar Tree like every day.
Where else were we going to
We
go?
were like, what fun thing can we find today? And we like the very first week we got a bunch of like temporary Marvel tattoos that we all put all over our bodies and whatnot. Yeah, good times.
Oh my God,
good times.
We probably can't mention this, but the poppers in the cabin.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? My parents. Don't Google poppers in the cabin. Oh my God, the water bottle from the. Wait, I wish you could insert a video right now, guys. Somewhere
Here's the thing. I will put the video on the Patreon.
Guys, go check out the Patreon.
We did. It was that time of the TikTok trend where you hang the water bottle on the fan, and everyone has to duck and whatnot. And once again, y'all got me real good. I saw that video the other day, but we were doing it for a while and like people were getting hit and then everyone stepped out of the circle and started just faking the noise and it was just me bobbing up and down for too long. It was too long that I was just doing that and everyone was just standing around me watching me. I was oh my God, good time.
It was awesome.
Literally,
I was cackling.
Yeah.
What a time.
They must love us talking, just reliving our memories right now. We're like so educational.
I know.
In summary, I like to have fun with my friends in theater and would like to do it more.
Yes.
You know?
Right.
And that's what it's about. And I find myself watching, I watch Dropout TV a lot, which is just about a bunch of like friends doing improv like shows like on television, which is and like Smosh on YouTube and whatnot, where I'm just like, these people are all living the dream where they are just like making silly, fun, stupid content with their friends and people like to watch them. And like, it's one of those things. I was like, today I was watching a clip where I was like, they have fans. Like there were people out there like who aren't performers who are like, wow, this is entertainment to us. And I'm like, I would love that.
Right?
You know?
That's really all I want to do is like, I want to make people like have a good time or like feel something. Yeah. You know?
I would like to do what I love to do and have people enjoy that.
Yeah,
you know?
That.
There we go.
Period.
We'll work on. In the meantime, is there any more wisdom that you would like to share with the people or any words of wisdom for the young Ericas out there?
Aw. Keep trucking. Even if there aren't people that look or sound like you, there is a place for you.
Of course.
Be true to yourself. And when things get hard, think about how far you've come. Mm-hmm. You're not going to marry Josh Hutcherson, and that's okay. And even though you choreographed a dance for your wedding, it's okay.
There's still time.
There is still time. He's also only 5'6", so I'm like...
Oh, my God.
Right?
That's perfect for you.
Yeah. So also, yeah, I think those are...
Okay. I love that.
Words of wisdom and words to Josh Hutcherson.
If you're listening, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Erica's right here. She's ready.
I'm ready.
She's ready to go. She'll send you the choreo tape ahead of time.
Yes, perfect.
Do we have a Hunger Games parody musical?
We should.
We really should.
You know, they're doing like this huge production in London right now of the Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah, on stage.
Crazy. But we should have a Hunger Games parody musical. I started writing an ACOTAR parody musical, but there's like 3.
Wait, what was it? I came up with a title for an ACOTAR one.
God, what is it?
Listen, my notes app is an atrocity of like when I am in certain spaces and influences that I write just one thing down and then I go back and I'm like, what is this? I forgot all about this until you just mentioned it. Oh no, it wasn't a title, it was a concept. It was A Court of Thorns and Roses, the parody musical, but it's a basketball parody musical. It is a basketball court of thorns and roses, and every court is a different basketball team.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
No,
You're onto something,
like, why am I?
actually.
Yes, like, literally. I was like, this could actually be brilliant. I need to make sure I remember this in the future. Wow.
Get into it.
Okay, let's work on that. Let's get that going.
Yeah, I will. Perfect. In my version, the girl starts at a half-price books.
Oh, my God.
And then she gets teleported into the world.
I also just saw the trend on TikTok that I guess I missed, where girls clearly haven't read more than the first book and they get a Tamlin tattoo. And then everyone's reacting to it like, oh, honey. Oh, no. Literally, I was like, oh, my God.
A Tamlin tattoo?
Yeah, because they only read the first book and they were like, wow, I'm a part of culture and I love this. And, ooh.
Girl.
Yeah.
What even is it? Like a mask or a little violin?
It's just like the name Tamlin. Like they get the name Tamlin
that is not
in script on their body.
Whoever is doing that, I'm here to tell you, you don't have real friends. Because no one would, like, sorry, no.
Oh, rough. Okay, well, we're going to get working on that parody musical as well. Period. I fear we've lost the plot a little bit. I think it's about time to wrap up.
Yeah.
Folks, get out there, start doing the thing. We are rooting for you. We are your biggest supporters, and you can be our biggest supporters by finding us on Patreon. That is patreon.com/BA to Broadway. Your general disclaimer, there is no vital information on there. We are not gatekeeping. That is just for fun, silly bonus content. Tune in to hear the story about the death in the theater that happened during our production of Dogfight, and the video of me getting pranked. Oh, so good. And as always, you can find us on most social media platforms at BA to Broadway. Erica, where can folks find you if you want to be found?
You can find me in Brooklyn. No.
Oh my God.
You can. Don't come searching for me though. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok, etc. My website, all of them are Erica C. Walker at Erica C. Walker, which is ERICACWALKER. Thank you, Brennan, for having me.
Oh my God,
thank you so
much for being here.
I love to kiki.
You are welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
Of course. And until that next time, folks.
Bye. We kind of harmonized. Woo!
From BA to Broadway is created, produced, and edited by Brennan Stefanik, music by Dylan Kaufman, and cover art by Jordan Vongsithi.